Hello, everybody. So it's Dr. Tamu of Coaching by Tamu and Innovative Education and Training Solutions. So, if you hear any noise, that's my fan. I swear it's like 100 degrees. I swear, right? So sorry about that, but the fan is doing its work. So I'm here to talk about two things. The first thing is, well, I think it's really like one thing, right? And it's about the best way to work with me. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I had a client who is in one of my online programs reach out to me, and she said, I don't know that online things are for me. So, I don't know. I feel like I might be struggling. Now, if you don't know, now you know. I have been an educator, or a certified educator, a senior lecturer, a designer of curricula, and all of these things since, hey Donnell, how are you? Since 2012. Hey Veronica. And I understand how people learn. So when my client reached out to me and said, I'm in this program and I feel like I'm struggling, because I don't love online things, I said to her, okay, I understand better than anyone else that everybody has different learning styles. And so those learning styles are, some people learn visually, some people learn auditory, like by hearing, visually by, looking, kinesthetic by touching. So there are different learning styles that people gravitate to. And so for my online programs, right, at the lower end price point, those have a mixture of all of the above, right? So they have the online content, they have notes, they have audio, they have video, and they still always have the opportunity to work with me live. So there's always a live component to even the online programs. However, not everyone's schedule or everyone's preference is like that. And so you can learn with me. I'm talking about entrepreneurs or anybody that wants some consultation, whether it's academic, professional, entrepreneurial, that sort of thing. And so some people work best with coaching, right? That dedicated time with me for an hour or 90 minutes. Now, obviously, and this is a tip for everyone, when people have the benefit of your time in a one-on-one way, right, that is your premium product. So time with me obviously costs a lot more than, an online class or a hybrid program. So people work with me in many different ways. So how can you work with Tamu? Well, you can tap the link in the bio and fill out the entrepreneur intake form. You can DM me. But the form lets me know things like what are your challenges, what are your goals, and what is your budget, right? And so I know what I can offer you. What can I offer you? Well, I have classes that are on demand. So they're online, like an hour, 2 hour. There are fully online programs as well, a few of them. Then there are hybrid programs that I run once a year, like the Jumpstart Your Business in 90 Days. And then, hey, Dylan, how are you doing, girl? I see that your thing is up on the site. Whoop, whoop, right? And then you can work with me, of course, through coaching. Now, I don't accept everybody who wants to coach with me, okay? Because I know my ideal client. And this is something that we would have spoken about before with the customer journey and that sort of thing last time. So I don't accept everyone who wants to work with me. There's a specific person that I want to work with, right? I want to work with someone who is driven. I want to work with someone that I have been looking at their brand. Whether it's here, I have customers in the BVI, I have customers in St. Martin. So when they send me their information and I go and I research their brand, I know if they're going places, right? I also want to work with people who have already put in work. I don't work with people who have not done anything, like you're just starting, like you just have an idea. That's not me. That's not my, I don't like to do that. So I want to work with people who I know they're out there and they are beating the pavement and they're putting in work, and I'm just there to kind of guide and facilitate and direct where I want people to go or where they want to go with my assistance, right? So that's how that is. Now I have this initiative that I'm doing like research, right? And part of that research is, hey Robin. Every live I'm on here calling out Robin, my bestie. I love you, Robin. Aren't you gonna tell me you love me back? What's good? I have this idea, right? That my hypothesis is that Caribbean entrepreneurs need a specific path to take them to 6 and 7 figures, right? And I'm testing my hypothesis. So, and I'm calling it, he says he loves me more. I'm calling it Mentored to Millions. So I had looked in my doctoral work, my research was with women who had gotten venture capital funding in the millions of dollars to have these huge tech companies, right? But obviously the Caribbean is a different type of environment, and Caribbean people are different people. And I am of the opinion, having worked with well over more than 100 entrepreneurs in all sorts of ways. I've worked with entrepreneurs through coaching one-on-one. I've worked with entrepreneurs through workshops that I would have held with 20, 30, 40 people. I've worked with entrepreneurs in my in-house programs, but I've also worked with entrepreneurs as a resource person, as a facilitator, as a curriculum developer for companies and institutions around the Caribbean, right? Or things that are funded. So I would have worked with Pitch It Caribbean, funded by World Bank, 25 entrepreneurs. I think that was like in 2016 or 20, something like that, right? I would have worked with Caribbean Climate Innovation Center, a whole room full of entrepreneurs, right? Working on climate issues and climate innovation. I would have worked with locally, the Department of Youth. I would have worked with the Caribbean Tech Entrepreneurship Program in Barbados. That was a virtual program where, I would have looked at pitches and pitch decks from entrepreneurs as far as Haiti, right? And I work with Caribbean Export as a Services Go Global trainer, and I've done that training with like 40, 50 people in a room more than once, okay? So I have a lot of insight into Caribbean people and Caribbean entrepreneurs in particular, coupled with obviously my background and qualifications and experience in education. And my hypothesis is that particularly for Caribbean women, because for some reason women show up more to workshops and so on, I don't know. Plus, that's like my customer archetype tends to be women. What I believe is that in order for Caribbean women to make 6 and 7 figures in a business that is sustainable with global reach, right? These are the businesses I'm working with. Sustainable with global reach, that there is a particular pathway that they have to take in order to get there. And that pathway may or may not look different to pathways like in America and so on. So what I have been finding is that, and this kind of goes back to customer journey that we spoke about last time, but in a different way. So I'm creating my own theory here. So you want to meet your customer where they are, but with entrepreneurship, sometimes when I meet Caribbean entrepreneurs, they are never where they want to be, which is why they're coming to me. And they want to go global, regional, international, that sort of thing. And so that's where I come in. What I find is that it requires a mix of some concepts, a path, right? It requires a particular path. And that path first starts with fundamental knowledge. So there are some knowledge pieces that our people do not have in order to do big business in a sustainable way. We're not talking regular business. We're talking export business. We're talking six-figure business. We're talking global engagements. We're talking regional engagements. We're talking products on shelves, locally, internationally, regionally. This is what we're talking about. And there's some specific fundamental strategy pieces that our people don't know, right? They don't know about business model. They don't know about lean model canvas. They don't know about these tried and true tools. So that's where the lower end or less pricey parts come in. So they need to be on that path first with tools for building a sound business model. That's number one. And I found that happens best in workshops or live events or like on-demand video classes, right? Where you can get that knowledge. I then realized that they need a coaching component. So the lives and the workshop sessions and so on, they're not as intimate. So it's like a big funnel, just like marketing, a big funnel, and people come into that funnel, right? And they get a lot of knowledge. But then the people that you really want to work with and the people that are serious about moving their business to the other level, they require coaching, right? Now, this is how that coaching might look. So they have some persons that require that group coaching. And that group coaching, though, with the live as the feature, right? Where we are live together like every week or every other week, honing in on particular strategy pieces and building a sustainable strategy and pathway while looking at their data and teaching people how to understand their data, what that data means, and some, higher level concepts along with group coaching and customized coaching. So I just did that component with the Level Up Ladies, right, earlier this year. And every Level Up lady made like much more money than they had ever made, doubled their income, in some cases tripled their income, and they're continuing to do that. And those programs have to be longer. Good. So after you leave them, they keep working. But now I'm going to be testing the next part. So where do they go after they level up? So we want to scale up and mentor up. Because in order to scale up, you now need more customized work, right? So less, even when there is group, the group is more for sharing, support, and accountability, coupled with that targeted, customized thing. Yes, Mrs. D869 says yes, ma'am. So Mrs. D869 was a Level Up lady And I don't want to give out her business, but she made book of money, and she keep making book of money, right? And so you need now that piece where the group serves a different purpose. So that's where I'm going next year. And then that's the scale up, right? So if you're local, we need regional. If you're in 2 locations, we need you in 10 locations, and so on and so forth. And then I feel like the final piece to move to mentor to millions is where I open up my network and place you with the mentors that are required for your growth to the millions. You see? Also, I feel that there is so much benefit to working continuously with people. Right? And I found this even when I was a teacher, when I was a lecturer. I would never, just teach people in first year and give them off in second year. No, I went with my class. My class went with me. Why? Because now everybody understands the culture. They understand your style, and you now understand them. And so what people don't understand is that just like you want good health, so you keep going to your doctor for checkups and check-ins and so on, coaching is an investment that you continue to make if you want to grow, but the types of coaching differs as you grow, number one, right? The next thing is all the data, particularly for Black women, speaks to the importance of mentors. Now, a mentor is different to a coach. A coach can mentor, but a mentor is really someone who has done what you want to do on a level that is admirable. So they are one of the best in the game at what you want to do. You see? And so they can teach you the way. Now, so when it's time for mentoring, this is not no content story and business model story and that kind of thing. This is brass tacks experiential story. So you need somebody who has the experience in doing what you want to do, and they have been doing it or did it at a very high level. So that's the pathway. Now, I talk about this, of course, not just to talk about why, how you can work with me and the importance of coaching and all of this stuff, but it's really important for you to be able to chart out a path and partners that you require along the path to get you and or your venture to their future selves. Hello, let's see, Boo York SKB, thank you for joining. Why I feel like I noticed this, Dennis, my old colleague, hey, right? So it's important to understand the partners. So often we're focused on the path, but who are the partners that you require on the path to get you to the future self? Remember, I have a whole IGTV on the future self. So if you haven't seen that, go to IGTV and look at the future self, which is a way to make decisions, etc., based on your future self. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Team Skin Inc. Eartha, how are you? I hope you're well. It's Dr. Tamu of Coaching by Tamu, Innovative Ed, and I was talking about working with me and my hypothesis about mentoring Caribbean entrepreneurs to millions and the pathway for that. Hey, girl. And I'm talking about the fact that we don't seem to understand that investment in your business goes beyond the brass tacks type of investment, like those tangible things, like investing in better systems, investing in your website, investing in your logo, investing in scaling up capacity by hiring people, investing in equipment, etc. All of these things are awesome. But you also have to invest in the intangible, which is the partner and the mentor. And I was talking about the fact that the evidence is clear. The evidence is clear. The statistics are clear. Google it if you ain't believe me. I don't use Google. I use journals and academic research. But even if you Google, you'll find that particularly for women, whether it's professionally or personally, that one of the reasons that female businesses remain small, and one of the reasons that women do not advance as rapidly in one of the reasons, not the reason, that they do not advance as rapidly even though they might have the same ambition as their male peers, is because there is a lack of mentorship opportunities, being mentored by people, being coached by people, being guided by people. Last week, well, depend on if you feel Sunday is the beginning of the week, but I think it was Tuesday. I had a coaching client in the BVI, and we were talking about investors and how do you know an investor is right for you, and the criteria that you should use when seeking investors. And I feel like, of course she meant financial investors, but you have to begin to consider who are going to be the investors in your business, right? Beyond the financial, or not even including financial. So who are you partnering with? Who can pour into you and invest in you? And I spoke about the fact, and this is true even for when we're talking about mentorship and coaching, you need people who not just have knowledge, but also have the connections that are required to help get you where you want to get. You understand? To help get you where you want to go. So that's important. Or who knows the path to get you there. Right? This is so important, because I have the Tamuisms, the things I'm always saying. You can't do what you ain't know. So get to know. And the only how you're going to get to know is through research, or through somebody who has already done the research, or who has walked the path, etc. So, and I'm also talking about the fact that at every stage, you need a new set of partners in your journey. So the people that served you and that you aligned yourself with in your early stages of your venture, sometimes you're lucky that they can, guide you to other parts. But sometimes they can't. And so you need to shift, right? You need to shift the partners. I also want to talk about since we're talking about partners and people, understanding and knowing and guiding and helping and mentoring. And when I say helping, some mentors are happy to do a favor for someone in their network. Like I might reach out to somebody and say, I have an awesome entrepreneur and she's into XYZ. And I know you're into this. And I think, it would be awesome if you all could have a 30-minute convo. Some people do that for free. Some people will not, right? So you have to invest in people's knowledge and time. But let's talk about the concept of a board of advisors, or a success network team, or a success team network, whichever. So I came across the concept of the success team or success network when I was being inducted into the National Society for Leadership and Success, right? Which is a US-based, organization, right? And as part of the induction process, you had to have some meetings with a success team. And you chose your team based on your goals, right? Where you saw yourself. And you approached them and you said, hey, I want to grow. And I need people who can help brainstorm with me, and I can brainstorm with you, and we can hold one another accountable. And you would meet ever so often, and you would, indicate what your goal for the month was. And when you come back, what your challenges were next time around, next meeting. And everyone would brainstorm as to how can those challenges be overcome? Who do they have in their network who they might be able to reach out to help you overcome? Building a big life is a team effort, and I have been guilty of this, where I try to do everything by myself because I'm a control freak and I like things done a certain way. But the truth is, to grow, other people have to come in, and that's why I keep talking about networks. But this is even closer than a network, right? This is a little different concept. And the concept of board of advisors is something that is used a lot in the United States. And so a board of advisors, yes, a sisterhood that can hold you accountable so you can be successful, is a great way to go. Right. And I always, though Team SKN Inc., caution people about only having sisterhoods, because you need men on the team, because men have access to different networks than women do, that can open doors that women can never open for you. So it's always important to have that diversity on your team or your board of advisors. So just like a company on the trading stock or whatever, or privately held, has shareholders or a board of directors, you need a board of advisors. And so these are people that you choose who, and let me tell you, don't be choosing just your friend them. Okay? Don't be choosing just your friend them, especially if you and your friend on the same level struggling. That is not going to help. Or you could struggle and talk about that at some other time. Your board of advisors should be people who are doing big things, who have great minds, who have some time to invest in your growth, right? Through a conversation. So you want to assemble a team, maybe 4 to 5 people. It needs to be diverse. Eartha laugh, it's true. It's true. It doesn't just be teaming up with your friend. That make no sense. It make no sense, okay? Your friend can't help you because you and your friend on the same level, okay? So, and you don't need them as part of your official board of advisors. Them are your friends, so you could talk to them some other time, right? Over lunch or whatever. We're dealing serious business here now. So you want a board of advisors that is diverse, right? 4 to 5 people. And you approach them and you let them know, each one, and you say, this is what I'm doing, right? This, Team SKN says, not me. This is what I'm doing, and this is where I want to go. And these are some of the plans that I have to get there. And part of this strategy is asking partners to come on board who can give me some advice and hold me accountable, right? And then, you assemble your board and you provide an update. You get their commitment, and then you put out, well, what is your next milestone? What is your next milestone? Okay? And you communicate that to your board of advisors. And then you want to update them. Milestone X time has come. This is what I've accomplished. I'd love to hear you weigh in. Could you weigh in for me on this? I didn't get to my goal. This is what I did. What ideas do you have? Where did I go wrong? So that they can advise you. And they are advising you because they believe in you. What you can do as well is, with your board of advisors, you can have like some little, video conference calls with them to update them. You could send out a little email newsletter to update them. But you want to, at the end, have some interactive way so that you can get the advice. So it's harder now because, well, let me talk about that, because it's COVID and all of that. But it might force you to look further afield than you normally would have, different countries, different regions, etc. And it might make it easier for these people to be able to be on your board of advisors, right? So there are people who are rooting for you, who believe in the impact you're intending to have and want to support that journey, right? Want to support that journey, and you don't want to take up too much of their time. You're not asking them for coaching, etc. You're asking them for targeted advice, and people are busy and they don't have all of this time to be lolling with you. Okay, so you have to be respectful of people's time on your board of advisors. So for me, I had a success network team. I've outgrown that team. And so now for 2021, I'm going to begin to assemble a board of advisors. Now, other ways that you can, get to people to help you grow is if you are actually on a board. So because a board is made up of all of these diverse people, and a real board is made up of all of these diverse people with so much knowledge. So most recently, I've been appointed as a director for the community of practice for Caribbean immigrant entrepreneurs, which is based in Toronto, Canada. And of course, we can do it all virtually now. I'm the VP for research and publication. But the other directors, they're so accomplished and so smart and so, right? I can see already how I will eventually be able to, you have to build your relationships first. It's all part of the networking, right? But eventually be able to ask some of them or one of them to be an advisor for me or a mentor for me, because we already have that relationship. So you have to build a relationship first before you ask, which is something I talk about all the time when I talk about networks. So the question is that you have to ask yourself is, who are the partners on the way? Partners include advisors, coaches, mentors that can help you get where you need to go or where you are going. Okay? Because once again, you cannot do what you do not know, and other people are out there doing what you want to do well. And so, you do not need to reinvent the wheel. What you need to do is create partners around you. Invest in non-tangibles, right? In order to make the right investment in the tangibles. Another thing that for me, so I don't advocate people do anything that I don't do. So I've had a board of advisors. I've moved on to a different stage. So I need a next set, right? That's just how we go. I'm also in the process of, I'll be paying for some clarity calls myself to move to, public speaking and so on. So there's someone I have on my radar. I've already reached out to her, and I have to gather up them to have that call with her because she's doing it big on an international level. And so even though I have had those engagements, I want to do what she's doing. I want to have my book on the Times Square billboard like she did, right? I want to speak at Microsoft like she did. And, I know she's going to get me there to the Fortune 500, Fortune 20s. So that's where I want to go. So I'll be getting a coach just for that, right? I don't need a coach for regular speaking engagements or regional engagements or training. I got that under my belt. So another thing, right? So new markets sometimes require new mentors, new coaches, or people with experience or network in those new markets or new industries that you want to go into, right? Because they're there, they understand the industry, etc. I'm also, like I told you, going to be looking for a mentor for specifically my work in innovation and tech, where I'm moving to the Molding Mobile Minds initiative, where I'll be offering emerging tech workshops and so on for people, well, big children in our region, right? Because we behind. We so far behind is not even funny. I don't even want to talk about it because it makes me upset. But I need a mentor not for that portion, but for my own tech invention that I have been working on. So I need a mentor for that, a mentor in mixed reality and so on. So you need to be able to find the partners that are going to get you where you need to go. And sometimes you need a coaching call for somebody to say, well, this is the mentor you need, or this is the resource you need, or this is someone in my network that I have that I can link you with because you need, right? So I'm sweating bullets. It's really hot. I'm leaving you now tonight, getting my rest and going to bed. So thank you for joining me. And I think I want to leave you with the thought that you need to invest with partners along the way. And we don't mean financial partners. We mean guides and mentors and coaches. And you need to begin considering a board of advisors or a success team. All right? So that's it from me. Bye.